Morning legends. Slightly different start to the video this time, where you join me from my car. So the story goes like this. This is the first brew day of 3 back to back, where we are brewing our 3 birthday collaborations, of which will be kegging and canning, available on the web shop from the birthday onwards. Some quite exciting ones in there. I'm really looking forward to making. And I was in the brew house yesterday. It's Monday morning. It's now 6:30 in the morning, and I was just prepping the brew house on Sunday, ready for today's brew day. And I was just having a look around, just getting things set up, and then I noticed a massive, great big tear in the seal that goes around the manway on our kettle. I'll drop a little picture in for you to show you what I'm talking about. This is the seal that goes around the door. When you close the door against it, clamp it up, seals it up, and like half of the seal's ripped in half. I think what's happened here is when Kirsty was brewing during the week, she grabbed the seal from not from the outside rim, or from the inside rim, and then has just torn it, and then not told me about it because I thought it would be okay, but it clearly won't, because it would never seat and seal. And one thing you don't want is a leaking door in your kettle when you've got 1,000 litres of boiling hot wort in it. So that put a bit of a downer on the brew day, to be honest. So I'm driving, I haven't got the mics with me as well. I hadn't planned ahead that much really. So a hasty call out on the Pro Brewers forum. A good friend of mine got in contact after seeing my kind of call out for assistance post, that actually there is another brewery he knows of that I've actually met once, maybe twice actually, and I've lent them some yeast once as well, I think, in Chichester. It's about 45-50 minutes away from me. They've got the same brew house as me, open ales, same size manway, this guy's brewed on it, and there's a good chance they might have a spare, or at the worst lend me their manway seal if they're not brewing today, and then I can get another one ordered in within the next couple of days. I found the supplier for them now. So I am driving on my way down to Chichester, right down on the coast, to hopefully grab a manway seal that will fit on the door of my brew house, so we can actually get back and get brewing, start doing our first collaboration. So bit of a stressful start to the brewing process, but it's all about managing your way through problems and solving them. So here we are. Let's go. All right, so we have a seal. This is what it's all been about, all this delay and hassle. So yes, we've got a seal. We're racing back now. ETA is 8:45, which is not ideal. It's a lot later than I'd like to bash in really on a big brew day, but is what it is. We need to get this beer in tank in time for the birthday. So it's a bit of a race back. We'll get back, get things set up, get the hot liquor recircing, get that hot all the way through, get the preheat water into the mash tun, and then get the minerals weighed out, get the acid ready, and we'll be mashing in. My mate Brooke from Brolly Brewing, who's going to be brewing with us for this collab, he should be with us about 9 o'clock, so it should give me just enough time to just race around and get stuff ready, and then we're just going to get straight into it. Let's go.
So yeah, so recipe for this beer is 125 kilos of extra pale from Simpson's, so Simpson's extra pale, low colour, 50 kilos of Simpson's Golden Promise, just because I absolutely love Golden Promise. Keeping an eye on my underback here while we're talking. 50 kilos of rolled flaked oats. So quite a lot of oats, but we're looking for a really big, thick, hazy beer here. So we want loads of body from all the oats, as well as the high finishing gravity, and then also the water profile, which we'll talk about in a second. 10 kilos of wheat malt and 5 kilos of chipped malt. Yeah, all of that going in to give us a planned post-boil original gravity of 1079 at about 840 kilos. That's my mate Brooke. He's had to go because the day job's called him away. So yeah, about 840 litres. So that's kind of what we're aiming for. Water profile is obviously, as you'd expect, it's chloride heavy. So we're about 180 ppm chloride with, I think, sulfates at about 45, I think. So real big body in the beer in the water profile, but then also keeping the calcium below 100 ppm, which for me is really important in the profile and everything we do. So yeah, so that's the beer. We're adding the salts in the mash and into the boil, because that's, I've talked about this before, that's how I like to do things to balance the water profile for the final beer that I want. Yeah, so we're just going through the sparge and the runoff now. We've been going for, yeah, we're about halfway through actually. So yeah, we've been going for about 40 minutes. It's quite a slow sparge. I want to make sure that we're sparging this thing nice and slow, to make sure that we are getting the absolute maximum sugar out from the grain. Give you a rough idea of how the runoffs are going, and I'm measuring the runoff as we're going through the sparge. The first run-ins were 1079. I've just taken the runnings out of the underback after sparging with 300 litres, and we're running at 1093 at the moment. So, you know, it's right up there. But that's what you've got to do to try and achieve that really high starting gravity post-boil. So yes, seal is in the kettle door in the manway, and it works, thankfully. So we're not necessarily having to deal with that issue right now, which is good. I just need to go out and just buy a new seal to replace the one I borrowed. Yeah, sparge away is quite good. I'll take you in so you have a little bit of a look. You might get steamed up a bit, but yeah, we're kind of getting there. This is our yeast lineup. So it's WHC Haze Heaven, but we're having to, because the OG is so high, 110 hectolitre wet pitch isn't actually enough cells for it to be healthy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pitch a brick of dry Haze Heaven as well to make sure we've got a good high cell count so we get a healthy fermentation. Also going to add in some ALDC as well, because this is going to be going into small pack, just to make sure we're limiting as much diacetyl as possible, so we get as a healthy outcome as physically possible. So yeah, yeast we're going for. So we've got the boil edition ready, which actually isn't that much. It's only 100 grams of citra to go in, but in here as well we've got all of our boil salts. So that will be all of these here. It's going into the boil to kind of make up the rest of the water profile that we're looking for. So that's going to go in. That's 60 minutes, that addition there. And then we're going to add Protofloc, yeast vitamin, about 50 minutes as normal. We've also got all the hops ready that we're going to need through the whirlpool stage. So fresh bag, 5 kilos of Nelson's Solvan, 5 kilos of Nectaron. This is obviously whirlpool and dry hop. And then we've got the remainder of the bags of Citra Mosaic I've got here, it's probably about 2 or 3 kilos here. We'll open up a new bag for that. But yeah, so that's what's going to be going into the whirlpool. So we are at sparge. We've run off all of the volume that we need at the strength we need into the kettle. So actually, I know it's absolute sacrilege for any home brewer, we are just pouring the rest of the sugary work down the drain. Because it's no good to us. It's too weak. It will only dilute what needs to be a really strong OG wort. We've collected about 890 litres, which is what we need. So yeah, unfortunately, we just have to pour the rest away. Could probably make a beer out of that if you wanted. But yeah, good sparge. Nice little rings on the mash bed.
With the road closed.
And yeah, that is the mash tun dug out. 240 odd kilos of grain in, back out again. So there's plenty for the farmer for their cows. Ooh. Right then, let's just squeeze past here. So we are now. Oh, hello, come back, camera. What are you doing? So we're now into transferring into the whirlpool. So we're taking it out of the kettle, putting it through the heat exchanger, just knocking it down to basically whirlpool temperature, 78 degrees. We are about 3/4 of the way through. Yeah, works really lovely and clear. Actually, I'll just spin you around so you can have a little bit of a look. So this is the work. If I get this the right side, so it's coming through really nice and clear actually. So the clarification in the kettle's going really well. We're hanging on to temperature set point. Obviously it's going to move us 78 now, but yeah, pretty good. So what we're doing is, here's the kettle. So going out the bottom outlet of the kettle, down through, not going through this pump, that valve's shut. So coming out and around, through that valve shut, through the transfer pump, off through the hot seat filter, through the heat exchanger, back out, and then into the bottom of the whirlpool. We've just got the cold water chilled down by sort of 5-6 degrees at the CLT, going through there and then being recovered back into the hot liquor tank. Yeah, so that's now going in. I ran the first 50, 60, 70, 80 litres without any cooling on, just to make sure everything was super hot, to make sure it was all nice and sterile. Not long to go. Charlie is just weighing out the grist for tomorrow's brew day of the 3 back-to-back brew days. So we're back in again first thing tomorrow morning, brewing again. So we've got all the hops weighed out for the whirlpool now. So we've got 1.6 kilos of Citra going into the whirlpool, 800 or 900 grams of Mosaic going into the whirlpool, and then as part of the whirlpool kind of overall, there's 150 grams of Nectaron and about 350 grams, I think, of Nelson Sauvin going in as well. So the way this recipe is constructed from a hop perspective is kind of going ratios down from hot side, and then we're flipping it around to cold side. Part of the idea with that is to get that layering through, so to get the base hop using the Citra Mosaic with a little bit of the Nelson and Nectaron character on the hot side, and then flip that round and let the Nelson and the Nectaron really shine through on the other side in the dry hop in the finished beer. So yeah, all weighed out, ready to go. The Nelson and Nectaron smell amazing. Big old bags for it. So yeah, all good. So yeah, we'll be whirlpooling soon. So we are now right at the back end business of things. So we've now finished the whirlpool, seen the hops go in, spin them round for 20 minutes, give it a 10-minute rest time, let them the cone form. Noise in the background is I'm also CIP in the kettle, which I'll show you. I've got that set up at the moment. So we can get the kettle CIP'd at the same time we're transferring to FE. It just helps shorten the day. So yes, we've got that going across now. I'll just spin you around and just show you as we're going through the last few stages of the brew day. So kettle CIP is on. So what we're doing is we've got the whirlpool pump shut off, isolated from the lovely bit of work that's in there. Got the valve open on the bottom, taking it around past here on this hose all the way around to my mash pump. And my mash pump is then pumping it up straight to the top into a rotating spray ball that's in the top. So that's now giving the whole kettle. I've been in and scrubbed the elements, given them all a clean. This is now giving all the rest of the kettle a really good clean. I've gone for NZ Brew for the kettle clean because even though I know this valve's good, if we ever were to get any leak by, NZ Brew is human safe. It's not going to kill anyone, whereas caustic obviously is not ideal. So what we've got going on here is obviously our whirlpool work is in here. We're now taking it off the side on the take-up arm of the whirlpool, along into our pump, back through the sea filter, through the heat exchanger. We're currently knocking out to 19.5 degrees, coming back out, and then going around and then into the FE with that lovely golden yellow colour, and we're filling the FE as we speak. And yeah, I think we're about a third of the way through. So yeah, nearly there. Well, there we are. That is brew day pretty much done. Just topping up the tanks now. RO does take a while, even this one's quite quick. 770 litres, I've got to get it up to 1100. But that's fine. Got a bit of rinse to do. Kettle was all lovely, CIP and clean. Just running around the whirlpool loop at the moment, getting that CIP'd. Everything's in the tank. Got our final readings. Only like 1 point off our target, which I'm taking all day long for such a big beer. What's 1 point among friends? Grist is all ready for tomorrow. So yeah, last thing left to do is to pitch the ALDC and then also get the yeast in. And then a few other bits and pieces, catch up on a bit of admin. And then, yeah, and then it's time to go home, have some dinner, probably have a couple of beers, and then crash out because we're going to be in early tomorrow for beer number 2 of our 3 birthday beer epic, which I'll tell you about then. So let's get this yeast in. So ALDC, dry and liquid. So let's liquid hop in first. So yeah, Haze Heaven, as we talked about before. It's been out of the cold room. Oh, yeah, up here. It's been out of the cold room for a good 5 hours. So, and this is down to 18.5 degrees. So we're going to ferment this 18.5, I think. Make sure it's not running away too fast. All right, let's just pop this off. A bit hard for you to see what's going on up here, and it's a bit precarious as well. Get some Sunny and spray some Sunny around that. Oh, I've changed the design. They put one of those tabs on it. Interesting. So yeah, 1 liquid pouch of Haze Heaven, just make sure. So that's the liquid. Some ALDC as well. Don't need much. And then scissors, and I need to reach out for some Sunny, because I've not brought the sanitizer up with me, which is not the smartest thing in the world. So a whole brick of dry. Right, Sunny's there. Some fresh Sunny. So yeah, brew day all done. Yeast pitched. Just doing the last bit of CIP. Tanks are clean, as you can hear over there. And yeah, brew day done. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.